Hello and welcome back. This is the week ending we are in October now. So week ending October 6th, 2025. I'm John Turner with the team lead of Turner Victory Team, and we're here to talk about the Rutherford County housing market, what's been going on with that. Now, not only do we have this week's stats that we always bring you, we also have the end of the month because we got the end of September. And we've got the end of quarter number 3. So there's a lot of good information here that you're going to stick around and pay attention to. So let's go ahead. Let me get myself out of the way here. And let's jump into some of the good stuff here. So, all right. So again, this is for the Rutherford County real estate market. We'll start out like we always do with our main sheet here. We're looking at our current listings. Currently, there are 1,571 listings available in Rutherford County. And you can see the different price points here as far as, we broke down basically by 100,000s. 165 new listings this week. That is a lot, okay? But let me tell you something. We'll jump ahead. There's 140 expired or canceled listings this week. A lot of those are new construction, and they run them, and they were running to the end of September, and then the listing expired, so they just had to relist it. So those two numbers this week are going to be inflated. They're not really indicative of the market. Pending this week, 105. We'll look and see how that compared to last week and last year. There were 111 closings this week. Being the last week of the month, you would expect that number to be up there, higher than most weeks. And over the past 3 months, we've closed 1,414 units. We currently have 3.3 months supply of inventory. I will point out a couple of things that are interesting. Obviously, below 300,000, we expect that to be one of the lower, if not the lowest supply. But the 900,000s, all of a sudden, we have less than 3 months supply in the 900,000s. Now, if you look over here, there's 25 listings there. 7 of them closed this week, and there's 4 pending. So with so few of the market, that's going to fluctuate a whole lot more than if your $300,000 or $400,000 price range would. But just found that very interesting. Also, the 700,000s, we've kind of seen a trend there where that's been running a little bit less than the price ranges on either side of it. One other thing, if you look at the units, we've closed over the past 3 months. In the 300,000s, we closed 391 units. In the 400,000s, 381 units. So those are running neck and neck. And also the number of listings, 397 homes on the market in the 300,000s and 403 in the 400,000. So those two price ranges are pretty much identical right now, which is a little unusual, but that's what we've got going on right now. So let's look at some of these charts, some of these things we went over. And let me just jump over here. Where's my new listing chart? So new listings, you can see how that jumped up. But if you look at last year, there was 190 new listings for this week. That's just kind of standard right here at the end of the quarter. As I said, that many of the new construction companies, the builders will run their listings to the end of the quarter, and then those will expire, and then they'll just have to re-up them. So it's not unusual to see a spike there like we've seen. The pending chart, this is the 3rd week in a row that pendings were up over last year. Okay, not much. There were 105 pendings this week. Last year there were 99. Last week there were 114. So we are down a little bit. We also have to remember this week in Rutherford County kicks off fall break. So over the weekend, there were probably people on fall break, and they will be throughout this week and through this coming weekend. So generally speaking, we do see a little bit of a slowdown this week. So it would not surprise me to see some numbers down whenever we come back in and look next week at this. Month supply, 3.33 month supply overall. We've just kind of been floating in here between the 3.3, actually 3.25, I guess, up to 3.4. It's been pretty steady here. Now, this time last year, we did see a little bit of a dip down to 2.36 month supply, and we've seen a little bit, not near as much of a dip, but a little bit of dip here, but still anticipate this. Barring something that I'm not seeing, I expect us to be in that 3.4 month supply. Available inventory. This chart's getting so long, it's kind of hard to tell, but if we'll focus in right over here, if you notice, once we got into the 1500s, we've just been kind of hanging out in the 1500s. We did have a 1606. Last week was 1572. This week, 1571. So no real increase in inventory, but also no real decrease in inventory. So things are just floating along. And then the percentage of the market that went under contract this week, 6.68 homes. 6.68% of the homes on the market went under contract this week. That's still tracking a little bit below last year. But remember, last year we had less inventory, so it's not so much indicative of the number of sales, because the number of sales are at least tracking fairly close, but it's actually the amount of inventory. So sellers, you have more competition, and you're fighting for about the same amount of sales we had last year. And we will get into that a little bit more too here in just a second. Let's look at the monthly closing chart, because we did in September, right here, we ended with 451 homes sold in September. If we go back to September last year, 485 homes sold. So we are down, I think that's about 7%, if I'm not mistaken. So down from 485 to 451. And definitely down from last year, or last month a little bit. We had 482 in August, 451 this year, or this month. Let's look at quarterly closings here. Now we're just through the third quarter of this year, but if you look, we had 1,038 homes closed in Q1 versus 1,154. So more homes closed in 2024 in Q1. Okay, but in Q2 we bounced back. There's 1,423 last year and 1,486 this year. We were wondering if that trend would continue, and it did not. This quarter we had 1,460 homes closed versus 1,528 last year. So overall, we are down this year on our sales. Let's go look at some market trends here. I think this might help us out a little bit. So this is for Rutherford County. So whenever I look at Rutherford County, the new listings, and we're looking at last month now. So for September of 2024, we had 814 new listings. September 25, 789. So that's down 3%. Okay. The new pendings, new under contract, new pendings. It's really interesting, because if you look over here, you could see in September 2023, we had 431 pendings. Then in 24, we had 476. And this year we had 472. So basically the same amount of homes went under contract this September as it did last September. And then the inventory numbers are going to be off a little bit just because of the way I count them versus the way they count them. But if you look at this, they have us right now at 1,618 units. I had us at 1,571, I think, or something like that. But last year, they have 1,229. So any way you look at it, we have about 400 more homes on the market in Rutherford County this year than last year. Our average sales price was up this year. That does not mean prices are increasing, okay? So please know that that's not what that means. But the average sales price was up from $470,000 last year to $508,000 this year. If you look at the median, it's $439 this year versus $421. Our days on the market, and we've talked about this before, I do not put a lot of stock on days on the market because there's a lot of ways to manipulate that. But I do think it's interesting to at least pay attention to. We are up 35% on the days on the market. And then this has the month supply because it does read it differently than I do. I go back and look at the past 3 months. This looks at the past 6 months sales. So this has us last year at 3.15, where I had us at 2.6 or something like that. And I had us at 3.33. This has us at 4.17. Still a seller's market, but getting very, very close to a balanced market. One thing I do like to look at here under the new under contracts, I like looking at August. Also, August 2025, we had 528 homes go under contract. In 2024, 503. So we are tracking the past 2 months slightly more pendings than we had in 2024. That may actually lead to more closings. It may not, because just because it goes under contract does not mean that it will close. Here's where we look at the mortgage rates for the week. Again, this is the 30-year average. This is not indicative necessarily of what loan you might get, but we do like to at least look at this to see how things are trending. If you notice, we bottomed out here at 6.26%. And that was right before the Fed dropped the interest rate. All right, they went up to 6.3, and now they're at 6.34. So about 8/100ths higher. So not a whole lot of movement there. I will say this: with the government shutdown going on right now, the government data is not coming out. Whenever you start looking at jobs reports and different things like that. So without that data, it really makes it tough to figure out, for the bond market to figure out what to do. So we're actually seeing a lot of stagnation right now until they get more data on that. Because remember that mortgage rates are affected, really they pattern after the 10-year bond. So if that's not moving much, mortgage rates aren't going to move much, no matter what the Fed's doing. And those bonds react to what's going on with jobs and inflation and all sorts of different things like that. So I expect until the government shutdown is over that we really won't see a whole lot of movement one way or another on rates. I may be wrong about that, but that's what I'm expecting. So want to remind you that 37% of all homes on the market in Rutherford County have had a price cut. I think buyers are looking for that. There, as I said before, is there a way to manipulate the days on market? Yeah, a lot of times if home's been on the market for 3 weeks, a month, 45 days, whatever, the agent may pull the home off the market and immediately put it back on just to reset those days on the market. That's the reason why I don't put a lot of stock in days on the market, because it can be manipulated. With that said, we've had internal dialogue with our team as to whether we do that or not. That used to be a common practice. But I think now what we're seeing is that buyers want to see those price reductions. They want to see that a seller is being serious and they want to get something sold. If they do not see a price reduction, unless the house just came on the market and it knocked their socks off, a lot of buyers aren't wanting to even pursue it, because so many sellers right now are unrealistic about their pricing. You've got to remember, you've got to price according to your competition, not what's sold before. We are in a different market right now. There's a lot of inventory. Prices are at least stagnating, if not declining slightly, and you really have to pay attention to your competition and see how you stack up against them. So want to do something a little bit different this week. I actually want to feature a couple of properties that I really think need to be featured. These are a couple of sellers of ours. This one right here, 2530 Fig Drive. This is in Mankin Point, which is right off Manchester Highway, just south of the city, in between Rutherford Boulevard and Joe B. Jackson. It's a great area. This house is a beautiful home. It's only a couple of years old. I got permission to share this, but our sellers are being transferred. And they would like to get this sold. They have priced it very aggressively. It's really a really good deal. And if you look at this, it's just a beautiful home, very well maintained. Like I say, only a couple of years old. They've got the open kitchen with the nice backsplash, the white cabinets, a lot of recessed lighting, stainless steel appliances, a big island. Definitely something. So if you're looking to be on that south side of town, it's so convenient to I-24. You definitely want to check this out. So let us know if you want to look at it, or if you've got an agent, please get with them and look at this. It does have 3 bedrooms upstairs. One of the bedrooms has a bathroom right outside the bedroom. The other 2 bedrooms have a Jack and Jill. So just every bedroom has easy access to a bathroom. The backyard's just great. It has a covered back patio. It has a PVC privacy fence backyard. And as you can see right here, we got priced at $450, which is a really good price on that. So need to check that out. That's 2530 Fig Drive. We also want to feature 6004 Doster, which is in Smyrna off Rocky Fork, Amival. So if you, especially if you work in Williamson County, it's very convenient. If you work in Davidson County, Rutherford County, it's so convenient to everything. This house is only 4 years old. It's beautiful, well maintained. It's priced at $525. As you can see here, it's got a nice big open kitchen, just beautifully decorated. People ask us if we've staged this. We haven't. That's just the way they live. The porch is so nice. Not only can you sit there and enjoy, greeting people as they come up and down the sidewalk, the splash pad, the playground, everything is across the street, far enough away where you're not getting the noise, but just very convenient. Plus, they have the parking over there, so if you have any, if you like to host and have any guests or anything, it's very convenient parking. But look how open this is and how beautiful it is. Like I say, people think we staged it. This is just the way they live. So, tile shower, soaking tub. Also, there is a walk-in closet and another closet in the primary suite, which is really nice. Has the upstairs bonus room, as you can see. Also, this has 3 bedrooms upstairs. 2 of them have good access to the hall bath, and then one of them has a private bath, so it makes it really good. Pretty much like another primary suite upstairs. It has a fenced-in backyard. Also, you get beautiful sunsets from this deck. It is zoned all Stewart's Creek. I know that's important to a lot of people, but zoned all Stewart's Creek. And we've got this one priced at $525. We're ready to get it sold. So if you have any questions about that, please let us know, or get with your agent and look at that as well. So that's what we've got for you this week. I appreciate you tuning in. Again, we enjoy bringing this information to you every week. I'm John Turner with the Turner Victory Team at Onward Real Estate. We like to use these stats to really help our clients understand the market and what they need to be doing, whether they're a buyer or a seller. So if you need any help with that, we would love to help you. So reach out to us. And if there's any specific information that you want to see each week, please comment and let us know, and we will be more than happy to bring that information to you. So make sure you subscribe before you go, and we will see you next week. But in the meantime, make it a great week.